Oh hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. Feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video or any other video that I've posted in the past. A number of years ago, my wife went on a business trip. She went to San Francisco and she ate in a restaurant. And in that restaurant, she described to me they serve a chicken and they call it ginger chicken. And she really liked it. She said it's a very simple chicken, but the thing she really liked about it is the strong ginger flavor. She's a great fan of ginger. One feature of my fast cooking system is advanced prepping. I always have chicken on hand. It is very easy for me to cook chicken anytime I want. All I need to do is to go into the freezer. I have the chicken already cut to the size that I want. So all I need to do is that to put them in a bowl of lukewarm water. The first thing I do is that after the chicken slightly thaw, I will bend the chicken a little bit. And this will help it to thaw out faster. Using this method, I can thaw out chicken in about 5 minutes. So that's really convenient. I can go from the freezer to the wok in very short amount of time. And this makes me able to cook chicken anytime I want. And it makes home cooking more spontaneous. I always prep my chicken in about 8-ounce portion. It's just large enough for both of us. And if I want more, I can always thaw out an extra bag. After I remove the chicken from the bag, the first thing I did is that I pat it dry. And then I add cornstarch, and this is followed by with some of my Walk with Tak basic seasoning mix. And this is then followed by a small amount of sugar. Now usually I do not measure it because I have a pretty good idea how much that I need. I did it more intuitively, and then I will mix everything together. Now this method is known as dry marinating. The advantage of dry marinating is that it is very fast, and also this method will allow me to absorb as much moisture as possible from the chicken, because I want to sear the chicken and moisture is a problem. I always have some ginger on hand. Now there's a little trick to how to peel the ginger. The spoon turned out to be the best way for peeling the ginger. And then I'm going to cut the ginger into small chunks. Now in order to enhance the flavor of the ginger in the dish, I want to create a mince mixture for the ginger. And to mince it, I could have used my knife, but then I have a little device which is really handy. It is a manual food processor. Basically, it will allow you to chop things up. And the nice thing about this is that you don't need to have any electrical outlet to do it. So you can do it anywhere that you want. And for a small amount, this works really well. I don't have a lot of kitchen tools. In fact, I try to avoid kitchen gadgets as much as possible. But this is one little gadget that I really enjoy, and I use it a lot, particularly when I want to chop things up. In addition to chopping up the ginger, I can use to chop up garlic and nuts as well. For this dish, I'm going to use some scallions. I'm going to cut the scallions into two separate ways. The first way are the scallion, which the top part of the scallion, and I'm going to cut it up into small chunks, and this will allow me to use it as a garnish. This portion of scallion has little onion flavor, so it's great for as a garnish. The bottom part of the scallion, which first I'm going to cut off the roots first. Now this part of the scallion has a very strong onion flavor. And one of the best way to cut it is that I'm going to cut it into strips. And the strips actually is very great for garnishing. And also the strip of this portion of scallion has much longer shelf life as compared to the top portion, which only lasts for about several days. But the bottom part can last up to a week or longer. I'm going to cook this dish in my Cuisine 14-inch stainless steel wok. First, I heat up the wok, and then I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of canola oil. I cook this on my electric stove. Now I'm going to heat up the oil until it starts to smoke gently, and I'm going to let it to smoke for about 15 seconds. Now this method I refer to as spot seasoning, And it is a method that I can use every time before I start to cook to create a non-stick cook surface. Searing the chicken is really important because this will create much better flavor. And there are a couple of ways you can do this. And I use the method which I refer to as shallow frying. And in this method, basically, I sear it for a longer time period. In fact, what I want to do is that to create caramelization on the surface of the chicken, as well as maybe some charring as well. And this is the reason I coat the chicken with cornstarch and then also with the sugar. Now, the basic seasoning mix also play a role because it will char on the surface of the chicken and it gives a great flavor. At this stage, I'm going to let the chicken cook on this wok for about somewhere between 30 to 45 seconds. At this point, you probably do not want to move the chicken too much because if you move it too much, it might stick to the surface of the wok because before it seals it, the chicken tend to have a much tendency to stick. But as you notice that here, after I cook it for about 45 seconds, I'm able to turn it and the backside of the chicken is looked very nicely. Actually, you can see the browning as well as caramelization and charring on the surface of the chicken. It gives the chicken truly great flavor. Now at this point, the chicken is pretty much already done. Now I usually do not fry both sides equally. Usually the first side will provide enough charring and will give the chicken sufficient flavor. There are different ways that you can cook your chicken. I find that this method actually works the best. It provides best flavor because how the chicken are being charred as well as the caramelization on the surface make the chicken taste almost like grill. The next step is to add ginger. Now you notice that I add ginger way at the end. A lot of time people might add the ginger in the beginning. Quite often is to flavor the oil. But if you add the ginger in the beginning, the flavor of the ginger is not going to be as strong. By adding it toward the end, you will have the greatest ginger flavor, which is what my wife really likes. Based on what she described to me, I suspect that the strong ginger flavor is achieved through this approach. I also add some scallion, which I cut up earlier, as well as some colored bell pepper. These are the mini colored bell pepper. All of this will help me to enhance the flavor of the dish. A quick few stir, the dish is ready. I did not season this dish because the fact that I already add the wok with tart basic seasoning mix. And then the ginger will carry the flavor that which my wife really enjoy. The dish is really simple and very fast to cook. And this shows you the possibility that how you can manipulate the flavor of the ginger. For example, if you want this dish to be a little bit spicy, you can add some hot chili pepper flakes. And the possibility for managing the flavor of the chicken is almost endless. You can use things like cumin, or you can use Italian seasoning as well to create the unique flavor that you want. Now this chicken is really flexible and you can use it in many different ways. For example, you can use it in a salad. This would be a great way to enhance any salad. Another popular way to use this chicken is that you can put it in a fajita. And because of the dryness of the chicken, it will not affect how you're going to wrap your fajitas. So there's a lot of possibilities. When my wife tasted this chicken, she said, that's great. The ginger flavor is exactly how she expected. My fast cooking system has 4 components. And one of the most important ones is flavor chasing. Flavor chasing is a way for you to constantly make adjustment to the flavor of your dish. Each time when you cook, you should remember the flavor that you have achieved. And ultimately, you will establish a flavor library in your brain. And every time when you cook, you can use this flavor library to create the flavor of the dish that you are looking for. And by continuing adjustment, you will find yourself to be the best chef because you are able to create the flavor that nobody else can create for you. And ultimately, cooking is all about flavor. So if you'd like to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking and I will see you tomorrow.